Hi guys, and welcome in this new video about the Barbarian DPS. With this video I'm trying to make you understand the mechanics of a Barbarian DPS and trying to explain why I made certain choices over other ones. You just have to know, guys, that I'm not a native English speaker, so forgive me for any mistakes I'm gonna make in the video, because I'm just trying to help people. I know that my English sucks more than my Barbarian DPS. If you wanna ask me anything, you can do it here in the comments. If you wanna know what's my favorite color or food, you can do it everywhere you want. My PSN is in the description, but also in the title of the video. You can also PM me on Facebook or in-game, whatever you prefer, guys. Let's get started. So let's start and let's go in the character sheet. As you can see, I choose strength and dexterity. Strength is basic because, you know, physical damage boosts every of our attacks, so it's necessary. Then you can choose between dexterity and charisma. Dexterity is good for the critical severity that is anyway really reduced, so it will add a very little damage. But I don't need charisma because those cooldowns are let's say unnecessary to me, redundant, and the companion influence is gonna give me just 200 power, because their other statistics are gonna be useless. I already hit the caps, so I don't need them. As we go for powers, I choose Sure Strike as a nut wheel to charge up my rage, and Relentless Slash to deal either single target and AoE damage, because it's overall our best at will. You should use it all the time. So for the encounters, you're going to use on single target, on longer boss fights, Roar, Indomitable Battle Strike, and Bloodletter with the related feat, this one. And if you're going for faster boss fights, I left another video on my channel where I say how to use Punishing Charge and Frenzy. This is clearly referred to LOM, so maybe the step with Punishing Charge, Frenzy, and Bloodletter is good for the Boar Worm, while you should play with Roar and IBS on the other two bosses. But let's say it's up to you. I mean, even if you play with Frenzy instead of Indomitable Battle Strike, it will be fine. I just find it to be the most efficient combo of encounter powers. As daily, I choose Savage Advance for single target and Avalanche of Steel for AoE. This is really tricky. If you use it well, you can steal a lot of damage. For example, on Scorps on the last boss, or I don't know, let's say on the golems at the second boss. But if you use it badly, it's gonna make you lose a lot of damage because the cost is really long. So use it carefully, guys. Class features, you're going to choose Trample the Fallen because it's gonna give a 15% increased damage on basically always on the mobs and just 5% on the boss. This is because the first effect is related to the skills you are using. I mean, the first effect is triggered by you using like Roar, Savage Advance, Not So Fast, Punishing Charge, those skills will trigger the first effect of Trample the Fallen, while the second effect, it just depends on the enemy status. So if the enemy is controlled, no matter by who is controlled, you're gonna deal 10% more damage. The only thing that allows you to use the second effect on the boss is the Swarm for 10 seconds. The other class feature is Steel Blitz, because it basically increases your at wheels damage by 20%. I know that's not exactly what it does, but if you get a free attack every 5 at wheels, it's like saying a 20% boost on at wheel damage. I hope I'll be clear. The other decent class feature is Barbed Strikes. This is good for one phases and not for anything else. So Boreworm and maybe Arcturia if it's really fast. Not at the last boss, for example. The other class features are shit. As we go for feats, I chose Relentless Speed. I don't make a use of this on single target, but on LOE it's nice. And the second feat is the one that increases the magnitude of Bloodletter. This is because if you choose this, the magnitude of Bloodletter is going to be 800 and the magnitude of IBS is going to be 500. While if you choose the other one, EBS is gonna have 800 and Bloodletter 400, and you will be forced to use IBS at the top of your determination. So it's not really good. Third feat, Over Penetration. This just allows you to put 2500 more armor penetration to increase your damage by 10%. Really easy as it seems. Well, the fourth feats are useless. I mean, I don't ever make a use of that unless I'm using Avalanche of Steel in somewhere during the dungeon. So just choose what the fuck you want, and I went for Steel Slam just for the few cases when I use Avalanche of Steel. Okay, the last feat, it makes me cry because it decreases our damage while we are in rage, but Relentless Battle Rage is way better than the other one because it allows you to stack rage really fast. This is, with escalating rage, it's gonna be painful to stack it. And also it can stun you if you don't do a perfect rotation. It's really annoying. We go for Boons, and so you can see I choose all the power, okay, some hit points, but I needed this stats, this armor penetration, this combat advantage. Well, the combat advantage I could took out 3 points, but you know, it's okay. Critical strike, I needed them to maximize my power, taking out critical and armor penetration from everything. So my stats are just at the cap and a little over, not like 80,000 critical or what. I went also for the movement speed and the companion bonus, companion influence. For the last boons there are critical severity and recharge speed. Okay, for the master boons I have this one, Deathly Rage on AoE and Bloodlust on single target. This is my single target build, so I have this one. Oh, I forgot to say one thing. In the powers, when you're going to switch AoE, I use Not So Fast instead of Roar. That's because Roar on AoE it's not really useful, and Not So Fast allows you to apply control effect on all the mobs and doing also a decent damage on trash mobs. I also keep Bloodletter and Indomitable Battle Strike because it happens often in a layer of the Mad Mage that there is an elite mob you need to take down, like the giants in the beginning, or the Gorgon, the Beholder, the Jelly, so these are gonna come in hand. Let's see the companions. My active companion is Youngstone of Icosedrion or something like that. Never mind. And these are my stats on the companion. You can see the equipment. Obviously you have to go for Bonding Runestone and Empowered Runestone. The equipment is 2 chalk chains of the companion and 1 heroic piece +5. No matter what you choose, everything is gonna work. As active companion, as you can see, I have all the companions that give power. So this is the Youngstone of Might, of Attraction, sorry. This is the Youngstone of Might. Tamed Village Raptor, and this is currently bugged to give 10k power. If you want to use a not bugged companion, just go for the Deep Crow Hatchling. That's gonna help for the power. It's gonna give 8,000. I think I misspelled the name, but you got it. We got the Minstrel, that is by far the best defensive companion, thanks to its 4k power. And as a utility power, unfortunately, I didn't have the compy, the alpha compy, so I have to use the Mercenary, that is still good, but not as good. Mounts. So this is my beautiful Olber, but never mind. As active combat power, Bat Swarm, this is the best effect for DPS, and also allows us to make use of the second effect of Trample the Fallen, so it's great. 10k power, it's by far the best choice you can have. So the insignia bonuses are really shitty in this mod, so I went for 3 Gladiators Guild because the barbarian damage must be high on mobs, otherwise other classes are gonna get ahead of you on bosses. Our damage on bosses really suck, so we have to be really fast on mobs and get there first, get the damage. The 2 Artificer Persuasions are not useful to me, but they use 3 dominance each, and also I don't need Combatant Maneuver, I don't need Cavalry Warning. I mean, it's just 1k power for 10 seconds, and also it doesn't use any. It does use only 1 or 2 dominance insignias, so it's bad. And so these are my insignias, all dominance, just 2 skill and 1 brutality. I can't make it legendary because it really costs a lot. Okay, I think we are done. Let's see the equipment. So, Protege Visor Elm is the first time I read these names in English, so it's gonna be funny. This is just the elm that gives you the best stats with the bonus of damage in Undermountain, so also in Lair of the Mad Mage. So it's the best by far. The other bonuses on the head are not as good. The armor is the Executioner Black Attire that I first noticed when the module came out. I waited a lot to put it on my armor because I had the Kuno and I wasn't able to drop my ring. So I was waiting for the ring to put this on, and it's actually really good. If you want to see how it works, just go on my channel, I have a video for it. It's really amazing. Arms, I went for tethered grips. Some used Fairbringers, but you know, I don't want to waste damage on my dailies. Dailies are really hard to get, and when I got them, I don't want them to hit like shit. Okay. Also, the 3% on wheels, it's good, but not that good to justify 30% less damage on dailies. Okay, my set of weapon is the Alabaster set. You can also go for Burnished. Don't go for Watcher because it sucks. Also, I don't have the weapon enchantment right now, but it's obviously a Whirlpool, the highest you can, obviously. And the bonus on my first weapon is a Relentless Slash because it's the at-will power that I use to do damage, as I said. Either in single target, either in AoE. On the second weapon I have critical severity and power. I think no one's gonna debate it. For the feat I went for Hills of Fury. This is my other swordsman's perk, together with the ring, with the ebonized ring. And so these are my two melee bonuses. If you want to go for the Kuno, you can, but use the Shadow Stalker +4. I wouldn't suggest going for that Gordrun piece, I can't recall the name. Obviously we have the Orcus set, because the bonus is by far the best in the game for DPS. The stats are so shitty, but Cryptic wants us to stick with this fucking set, so let's use it, guys, it's the best. Also, I have the Ebonized Assault Ring for the melee powers bonuses, and the Ring of Shadow Stalker +5, great ring. Also, if you want, you can put 2 Ebonized rings, but I don't think it would be worth it, because you should take away Hills of Fury for something that would be really inferior to them. So my best choice, in my opinion, is Ring of the Shadow Stalker +5, Ebonized Ring, Executioner Black Satire, and Hills of Fury. As shirt, I went for the Ebony Stain Restoration shirt. You can use also any variant of this. I just needed that critical strike and combat advantage. Well, it works over your stamina. I mean, it's not really great because your stamina is going to be low all the time, but you know, at least when your stamina is good, at the second boss, at Trobriand at the beginning, you'll get the bonus, and it's something that adds to your damage at least. So, trousers. These are Prestige World trousers. Simply, they are the best piece that give the critical charge bonus, and so go for them. As artifacts, well, we have the Shard of Orcus 1 to complete Orcus set, and then the journals, in my opinion, and I'm also pretty sure of it, they are better than Barbarian Drink and Staff of Flowers. So if you have them, don't change them just because they give more power or because they have a higher item level. The journals are gonna give you 20,000 hit points that are good, and also they increase by 2 every of your stats rating, I mean your ability scores, sorry, and it's a huge increase. Also, if the ability scores in this mod really don't matter too much. So as the main artifact, you can use the Soulside Crystal for short boss fights like Arcturia, the Boreworm, but as we go for Trobriand, I would say go for Atropol. Also, if you are on AoE, use the Envenomed Storyteller's Journal. It's really good. It increases your damage, put damage over time on the mob, and also increase your action points by 30%. Okay, I think I forgot to talk about enchantments. Okay, my armor enchantment is an Eclipse to sprint on mobs, and also I'm using all radiance in the attack slots, apart from one Tenebrous enchantment that requires my health points to be I think 300,000. Okay, I know it's right, 300,000, but the spelling really, it's really hard for me. I have a little less than that, but when I go in a group, thanks to the VIP, I get over that threshold, so it's not gonna count for the Tenebrous. I mean, every time I go in a dungeon, I get over those 300,000 health points. In defense slot, I'm using Brutals to have a minimum of defense, even if my defense is still really slow. I'm a fucking genius. Still really low, and you know, I think they are pretty good. Obviously, you're going for darks in utility slots. If you have too many stats, you can also think about putting some tactician enchantments. They are really good. They help the supporters. You can see my stats right here. Power, it's okay. The more you have, the better. Armor penetration is just over the threshold of 70,500. The cap for barbarians is 70,500 because you have the feat that requires you to have 2,500 more penetration. Critical strike is basically capped. I cap it with my potions. Accuracy is so high, I'm so fucking accurate because I have 2 choke chains on the companion, and the combat advantage is just fine, you know. If you want to see also my crit severity and stuff, just look at it. And so we are going for the rotation. Okay, my rotation on single target on longer boss fights is this: I charge up my rage with some sure strikes. When I am at 40%, I use roar, then I go in determination, relative slash, bloodletter, IBS, and then again relative slash. Obviously, if you want to put Storm and Artifact in it, you just need to put them before Roar, like this, I mean. Okay. And as it goes for the one phase rotation, you can see it on my channel. I use Punishing Charge, I use Frenzy, etc, etc. Just look at it, so you'll have an idea on how to maximize your damage in shorter boss fights. And okay, this is all I had to tell you. the last thing is just, you know, the cherry on the cake, the potions. As far as it goes for potions, I have the cheesecake to go faster, the superior flask of potency, and the Walter Storm elixir. With these potions I kept my critical strike, and also I think they are the best. You can also use the Latender's Dew, you can use the scale from Omu, I can't recall the name, chain scale maybe. I don't like it. I mean, it's for sure something to add, so it won't be worse than not using it, but I don't like the fact that it has a cooldown and etc, etc. To me the really important ones are these three and the watermelon sorbet. Okay, back again. Sorry for the short interruption. Let's just move on. As I said, the important potions are those four, and you can use even further potions that fit your playstyle, like speed potions or whatever you prefer. For my potions bar, I use the Elfstone because I run ahead on mobs, and so with that I can make sure I don't die. Always when you run ahead, just don't put pressure on the supporters. Run ahead if you can, hold the mobs if you want to die, because otherwise you're just an unnecessary weight for the group. Also, I have the doohickey, whatever, this floating shit around me that deals a shit ton of damage. As you can see, it's basically a free encounter power every 30 seconds, and it also has a small AoE range, so it's really good. The third slot is empty. I usually fit there my watermelon sorbet, so I can eventually refresh it or activate it again if I die. And that's it. I think I talked about everything I wanted to. If you want further explanations, ask me in the comments or whatever, whenever you want. Also via PSN to groovestreet_MF. I hope you enjoyed the video and see you guys in game. Have fun.